Episode 56 BX. The near neighbor wants quiet enjoyment of her property with her family but is denied going out in her yard because of unnecessary wood burning by her neighbor, even in good weather. The full letter reads, "Dear neighbor, have you thought about moving to Queensland? It's obvious it's not warm enough here for you, that you have that stinking polluting wood fire burning all the time. It beats us how people can so blatantly pollute and spoil the fresh air for others. While you sit in the warmth, all the other houses downwind have to choke and splutter on the toxic smoke you pump out. Step outside and take a look at your chimney. Last weekend was beautiful. 2 glorious days that we'd hoped to spend in the garden with the kids. But your stinking smoke put paid to, and instead we spent inside with doors and windows closed. Word of warning. Next time you be ****** and moan of another person's selfishness impinging on your democracy, just spare a thought that your ignorance and woodfire has impinged on ours. Not happy. Lancet view. If there were laws in place to regulate residential wood burning and shut down polluting wood burning above certain PM 2.5 levels, as shown by fence line PM 2.5 monitor readings the yard of a neighbor who complains about wood smoke to the authorities, a letter like this would not be dispatched, or not be needed to remind a wood burner that he or she is contributing to air pollution that is indeed toxic to her near neighbors. Wood burning stove's owner sent furious handwritten letter by neighbor Lester Mercury. Lester Mercury. The letter was to do with her stinking wood burning stove and log burner. Wood burning stove's owner sent furious handwritten letter by neighbor. April 4, 2023. The homeowner was not happy after the note was posted through her door. Excerpt edited by Lancet for brevity and clarity. Everyone loves a good neighbor. They look out for you and your family when times get tough and are always on hand to look over your property if something is out of place. But for one homeowner who owns a wood-burning stove, they were the target of a furious handwritten note which had been posted through their letterbox. The homeowner says it had been sent from her neighbor regarding her stinking wood-burning fireplace. The author of the angry letter sent from another homeowner in Australia, of all places. Neighbor's furious handwritten letter to selfish woman using wood-burning fire, the Mirror. The Mirror. A homeowner has shared the angry note she received from her next-door neighbors who expressed their rage at her using a wood-burning fireplace. Excerpt edited by Lancet for brevity and clarity. Neighbor's furious handwritten letter to selfish woman using wood-burning fire. A homeowner has shared the angry note she received from her next-door neighbors who expressed their rage at her using a wood-burning fireplace, as it's polluting the gardens outside. United Kingdom. UK, Drax wood-burning plant. Lancet. It is good news that Drax, the UK's biggest biomass wood-burning plant, may lose UK subsidies paid by UK taxpayers if it is only greenwashing by replacing coal by wood for burning. The argument for greenwashing is that Drax is burning wood from ancient forests. UK's biggest renewable power station could lose its funding over alleged greenwashing. iNews. Drax, which operates the UK's largest renewable power station, has been accused of burning wood from ancient old-growth forests in Canada too. One of the UK's biggest power plants could lose its government funding due to an Ofgem probe into alleged greenwashing. Drax, which produced 11% of the UK's electricity in 2019, is under scrutiny by the regulator following allegations that it was burning wood from ancient forests to generate electricity. UK, London. Lancet view. These studies pinpoint the mechanism by which air pollution can cause lung cancer. Nature is a British weekly scientific journal founded and based in London, England. As a multidisciplinary publication, Nature features peer-reviewed research from a variety of academic disciplines, mainly in science and technology. It has core editorial offices across the United States, continental Europe, and Asia under the international scientific publishing company Springer Nature. Air pollution's role in the promotion of lung cancer. Nature. Particulate matter measuring less than 2.5 micrometers, termed PM 2.5, exposed egg for mutant mice to PM2.5 and to an antibody against IL-1 beta. April 5, 2023. Edited by Lancet for brevity and clarity. Air pollution's role in the promotion of lung cancer. Air pollution is associated with the development of lung cancer. Analysis of clinical samples and mouse cancer models suggests that inflammation and a tumor promotion process induced by polluted air are the major culprits. The mechanisms underlying how air pollution can contribute to lung cancer have been hard to pinpoint. Writing in Nature, Hill et al. One report studies of human lung samples and mouse cancer models that shed light on this issue. UK, London. Lancet view. In conclusion, the study states future studies are warranted using low-cost and portable air pollution sensors to improve personalized monitoring of the effect of PM2.5 air pollution, reversing the benefits of outdoor exercise. Instead, exercising in PM2.5 polluted air may cause cardiovascular disease. The Lancet is a weekly peer-reviewed general medical journal and one of the oldest of its kind. It is also the world's highest impact academic journal. 2. It was founded in England in 1823. 3. The journal publishes original research articles, review articles, seminars and reviews, editorials, book reviews, correspondence, as well as news features and case reports. The Lancet has been owned by Elsevier since 1991, and its editor-in-chief since 1995 has been Richard Horton. 4. The journal has editorial offices in London, New York City, and Beijing. Long-term exposure to ambient PM2.5, active commuting, and farming activity, and The Lancet. The Lancet. The extent to which long-term exposure to PM2.5 can offset the cardiovascular benefits of physical activity is unknown. We aim to evaluate whether. Excerpts edited by Lancet for brevity and clarity. Long-term exposure to ambient PM2.5, active commuting, and farming activity and cardiovascular disease risk in adults in China, a prospective cohort study. Increased physical activity is associated with a reduced risk of cardiovascular disease, but outdoor physical activity can be accompanied by increased inhalation of fine particulate matter, PM2.5. We aim to evaluate whether the associations between active commuting or farming activity and incident risks of cerebrovascular disease and ischemic heart disease were consistent between populations with different ambient PM2.5 exposures. For participants with long-term exposure to higher ambient PM2.5 concentrations, the cardiovascular benefits of active commuting and farming activity were significantly limited. Higher levels of active commuting and farming activity even increased the cerebrovascular disease risk among farmers with exposure to annual average PM2.5 concentrations of 54 micrograms per meter cubed or greater. Most studies on the trade-off between physical activity and PM2.5 exposure have not observed a significant difference in the association of physical activity with cardiovascular disease risk between lower PM2.5 exposure and higher PM2.5 exposure. In conclusion, based on this large prospective cohort of adults in China among participants with exposure to lower PM2.5 concentrations, active commuting was associated with a reduced risk of cardiovascular disease among non-farmers, and active commuting and farming activity were associated with a reduced risk of cerebrovascular disease among farmers. However, for participants with long-term exposure to higher PM2.5 concentrations, the cardiovascular benefits of active commuting were attenuated to the null among non-farmers. Both active commuting and farming activity were even associated with increased cerebrovascular disease risk among farmers with exposure to higher PM2.5 concentrations. Our findings have policy implications for continuously improving air quality, with similar efforts put into rural and urban areas to maximize the cardiovascular protective effects of physical activity in China. Future studies are warranted using low-cost and portable air pollution sensors to improve personalized monitoring.